Welcome to this explainer. Okay, I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today because we're going to be looking at something truly wild. We are going to break down the frantic, incredibly high stakes, and honestly, surprisingly contradictory highlights of a massive 2026 World Cup clash between Portugal and Croatia. Now, if you've been following the tournament at all, you know exactly how intense the atmosphere has been. But today, we aren't just giving you a basic summary of what happened on the pitch. No, we're actually dissecting the sheer chaos of the match's narrative exactly as it was presented to the world. We're taking the raw, official audio and the rather quirky text breadcrumbs of this game, and we're laying them out step by step. So let's just dive right in.
The first whistle, the last chance for someone at a World Cup. You know, this quote just brilliantly illustrates the massive stakes established the very second the match kicks off. I mean, before a single pass is even completed, before a foul is drawn, the commentary sets this incredibly intense emotional baseline. We aren't just watching a football match here, we're basically watching the sands of time run out. The source material really emphasizes that this isn't about building for the future, right? It's about survival in the absolute present. And honestly, that idea anchors everything we're about to see.
All right, moving into Section 1, the last World Cup stand, a clash of veterans.
So we've got a direct comparison between two towering figures in the sport, Portugal's Cristiano Ronaldo and Croatia's Luka Modric. The source material makes it crystal clear that all the talk leading into this match was focused squarely on the great veterans and their respective squads. We're presented with a definitive duel. And the weight of this context, it means that every single sprint, every cross, and every shot is completely overshadowed by the reality that, for these legends, this is their final tournament. It really elevates a standard knockout game into a profound historical moment.
Which brings us to Section 2. Croatia strikes first. An early shock.
Well, that theoretical tension we just talked about, it shatters almost immediately. The commentary details a rapid strike, though I have to point out the auto captions hilariously recorded it as Stanis for the cross comes to Paris. Actually, I think it's pretty safe to say they meant a connection from Stanisic to Perisic. But, regardless of the garbled text, cutting straight through all that heavy pre-match talk about veterans and legacies, Croatia simply executes a clinical early attack. A good ball goes all the way through into the box. A cross is delivered, and just like that, Croatia connects to take the opening lead. It's a sudden jolt of reality that forces the trailing team to play with utter desperation.
Okay, Section 3, the offside trap chaos, whiplash on the pitch. This sequence of events perfectly captures the sheer frustration and the momentum whiplash of the game. Let's follow this progression straight from the commentary. First, a flag stays down for a potential cross, letting the play develop. Then, suddenly, a flag goes up, and the source notes it takes a while just for the officials to sort out what's even happening. Finally, we get this massive moment. Cristiano Ronaldo gets on the end of a play, clips the ball right past the keeper, a moment of pure elation, but no, the flag goes off on the far side. Goal disallowed. It's a total stop-and-start battle dictated entirely by the referee's flag, really stringing the players and the fans along a relentless emotional roller coaster of near misses.
Let's hit Section 4, Ronaldo's equalizing penalty, breaking the tension.
So, the crucial point here is that after all the disallowed goals and those frustrating offside traps, a final decision from the official awards a penalty. Now, amusingly, the raw source transcript claims the penalty was awarded in Toronto. Obviously, we know a crucial spot kick has just been given to Portugal, not a Canadian city. Cristiano Ronaldo steps up, converts the penalty, and ties the game at 1 goal apiece. And the source text literally says this strike gets them to Kreischu once more, which is a brilliantly garbled interpretation of Ronaldo's famous "See you" celebration. The slate is wiped completely clean, and our veterans are right back on equal footing.
Moving on to Section 5, a Super Subs finale, the frantic climax.
Check out this progression. It maps the frantic back and forth of the match's final moments. Walk through this with me. First, Ronaldo unleashes a strike, but he hits the post, and the ball bounces out. Incredible margins. Then, the opposing line breaks, they're through with sick, but yet again, the offside flag goes up. The tension is just unbearable at this point. Next, an early ball is sent desperately into the box. And finally, step 4, the climax. A header goes in. The commentary excitedly proclaims that the super sub does it again. It's a textbook example of late-game World Cup drama where fresh legs off the bench completely alter the trajectory of the match in its dying moments. And finally, Section 6, the end of an era. A contradictory conclusion. Now, this is where we find a stunning paradox in our source material. On one side, we have the official video title,
Portugal 2-1 Croatia. A clear, undeniable statement that Portugal won the match. But listen to the actual play-by-play audio commentary from the very end of the broadcast. The narrator explicitly declares, "Now it's over for Cristiano Ronaldo." We really have to neutrally observe this glaring contradiction. How on earth can the official title claim a 2-1 victory for Portugal while the audio tells the exact opposite story, emphatically stating that Ronaldo's journey has ended? It's a fascinating little artifact of the chaos surrounding this event. And you know, the audio goes even further to solidify this narrative, relying strictly on the stark finality of the narrator's words. There is a dramatic divergence in the fates of our two titans. The commentary explicitly states, "The World Cup journey continues for Luka Modric, its journey's end for Ronaldo." So regardless of what the scoreboard or the video title claims, the definitive voice of the broadcast leaves absolutely no room for interpretation regarding who is advancing and who is going home. The veteran clash we highlighted at the very beginning ends with one legend continuing his march, while the other faces the bitter reality of the final whistle.
So, based on this chaotic, completely contradictory highlight reel where the video titles say one thing, the audio says another entirely, and the match itself is just a blur of offside flags, struck goalposts, and super sub headers, how will history ultimately remember the final World Cup moments of these legendary veterans? It leaves us to deeply consider, how much of a sporting legacy is shaped by clear, indisputable victories, and how much is forever defined by the sheer, unpredictable, and sometimes totally contradictory chaos of the game itself. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep questioning the narrative, keep looking closely at the details, and I will catch you next time.